Hi all, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be filling a page in my new sketchbook. I'm still working through my drawing prompts list that I put out at the beginning of June. If you are new to my channel, I will post my Instagram account here so that if you would also like to do this drawing prompts list, you can. I will make sure to have all of the products that I'm using noted below so that if you want to purchase them, you have easy, quick links to go check them out. The products I am using currently are the alcohol markers and colored pencils. These alcohol markers are by Ohuhu and are a new brand to me. Previously, I had used Copic. I've used many varieties of the alcohol markers. I believe the last set I had was Shuttle Art, which was a brand that I bought off of Amazon a while back. And just trying out a new brand, seeing if I like how they blend together and how bad the bleed through is on the back of the page. And so, yeah, I am just testing these out and seeing if this may be a new staple brand in my supplies. As shown here, I am using the alcohol markers to block in a color base. So I tend to do this a lot when I'm working on stark white paper, just because having that color base makes it a little bit easier when you go back in with the colored pencils to know what colors you're wanting where, especially when there's so many details. All the sprinkles at one point when I was staring at them, I'm like, I don't even know why I drew in so many sprinkles. I mean, I love it, but it's going to be a lot of work to color around, color in, but oh well. I guess that just means that I'll be spending more time in my sketchbook. So these Ohuhu markers I have used for about a month now throughout the beginning of my sketchbook, and I will say that so far I am very impressed with them. I feel like they do blend very well, especially in comparison to the shuttle art that I used previously. And I mean, the color range, I believe the pack that I got had 200 colors. And then it came in a really nice carrying case, which you may have noticed at the very beginning of the video. I like that it has different individual sections. And then it also comes with swatching kit, so you can actually see what the colors are located within the marker. I actually ended up creating my own swatch page in this sketchbook. That way I could very easily reference what color I was actually wanting. And I feel like that is such a huge help when I'm working on a drawing, just because the outside of the marker doesn't always necessarily show the true color that marker is going to be. And I did find that a few instances of the Ohuhu markers that I was a little surprised to see what the color was on the inside. But anyway, I will say I really do like them. They are probably one of my favorites that I've tried so far. And I mean, I'll continue trying them before I throw out that I would hardcore suggest that you go out and purchase them. But I mean, they are pretty affordable markers. And when I ordered through Amazon, they definitely got here very quickly. I did end up taking my kit and taking all of the markers out of it and then color coding it by like color range, just because when I had those 200 markers just staring me in the face, it was a little hard to pick out just like a single number. Where's the 4? Where is the 78? So by breaking them down into sections, that actually made it a lot easier, and I can grab a color a lot faster than how they originally showed up. And the second product that I'm using is the Faber Castell Polychromos, and I can't tell you how excited I am to finally be trying these colored pencils. I have wanted to try them for years. I have this drawing notebook, journal, I don't know what you want to call it, but essentially in there I put a wish list of like supplies I want to try sometime in the future. And I started it in college, and I can't tell you how satisfying it is to get that notebook out, look through, and then be able to like cross out when I try a new supply. And I just happened to see that these were on a deal and went for it. So the set I bought has 120 colored pencils in it. I did actually create a swatch in my sketchbook of what the color range was, just so I could see how it applied to paper, because I was so excited. I just couldn't contain myself. And so like the day I got it, I opened up the container and decided to add that into my sketchbook just so I could see how it applied to the paper, how it layered, etc. And so far, this is really about the second drawing that I've done with it. Other than that, the swatching page, and I definitely like them. I have been a Prismacolor gal my whole life. I am very attuned to how Prismacolors work and how I need to develop the layers and the colors to get the desired effect. And, you know, this is a different medium. Obviously, I know they're both colored pencils, but the Faber Castell are an oil-based color pencil, where the Prismacolors are a wax-based. So Prismacolors, I feel like, are very soft, and their colors are super vibrant, and I don't know, I've used them for years, so I know what's needed in order to be able to develop those really strong, potent colors that are super saturated when I'm working on like a hyperrealism picture. Like my balloon drawing that I did here a while back, or like the salt shaker, and I can note those below in case you'd like to do a comparison. But I would say a huge downside of the Prismacolors is that sometimes, and I feel like this happens more often than not, when you are developing multiple layers or blending, whether it's with a colorless blender or if it's with a white colored pencil, that the top of the Prismacolor drawing gets like a very waxy sheen, almost like a, I don't know, milky finish on the top, that if you're at just the right angle, you can see it reflect. And sometimes that's really hard to see in a drawing, just because of the fact that like you've spent this much time working on your masterpiece, and then I don't want to say it's ruined, because it's not ruined, but you lose some of that detail depending upon how you're standing. So I really wanted to try the Faber Castells because I wanted to see what their blendability was like and how well they held up to multiple layers and really developing that color, and what the color ranges were available as far as for purchasing. I mean, how large of a kit could I get? What was that color range? Since I've used the Prismacolors for so long, I bet, every single color that they make. And so it just might get to a point where if I fall in love with these, that I'll have to gradually add in more colors. But I will say, so far I have been very impressed with their blending and the vibrancy of the colors. One thing I'm still struggling with is that the Faber Castells leave more hash lines, so you could very easily blend in hash lines, and those lines kind of like melded together within your different layers when you're using a Prismacolor, whereas when I'm using the Faber Castell, if I'm using a super sharp pencil, then you can still see those lines. So it's just going to take practice for me to figure out what technique in drawing with these new colored pencils that I like the best. I feel like this drawing definitely did take me a bit longer than if I had actually just done it with the Prismacolors, and so, you know, I don't know if that's due to the adding the multiple layers or what, or just me because of my experience with these colored pencils, but just an observation. And I don't know. I loved working on this drawing. I spend way, way more time on this drawing than what I do in like a standard sketchbook drawing. I don't want you to think that I normally spend, hours on end drawing on a single page in my sketchbook. I mean, I feel like that's a little excessive, or at least that's a little excessive for me. So this was really above and beyond. As the drawing got closer to the end, I just started falling more and more in love with this donut. I love the stark contrast between the shadow and the light, almost like pastel-y color of the donut. And then I went back in with my white gel pen and added some finer details onto the top of the sprinkles. Not onto every single one, but onto a few. And then also added more stark white onto the stars and a few of the sprinkles just to really help it pop and give it more contrast between the other darker shades. All right, I think I'm done. I have spent so much time on this drawing, and I think it was just, my love of food and my supreme love of donuts that just kept me going. I just need to stop. I need to call it quits because I don't normally spend this much time on a single drawing in my sketchbook. So if I keep spending this amount of time on all those drawing prompts, then I will be working on this list until December. Anyway, overall, I will say that I was very impressed with these Faber Castell Polychromos. I love that you can develop a ton of layers. This was definitely fun to work on as my second drawing with this product. I think my first is just right here. Yes, okay. Actually, I'll just show you guys quick. All right, so my first drawing that I did with my Polychromos, and I actually used the same alcohol markers, was this other drawing from my drawing prompts list. So as you can see, it is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but instead I made April more like 21st century. So she has her phone instead of a camcorder. She has her Apple Watch. She's wearing some socks. Instead of having her in a jumper, I have her in this pastel romper. And then she has her gold chains on. She has fake eyelashes and then these cute little circle shades with her pink hair. So I just thought that that was more accurate than the like 80s April. And then with that, I had them standing in front of one of my favorite pizza places. So this is Lincoln Wine Bar, which is in a town that's not far from where I live. And they have phenomenal wood-fired pizza. Like, so good. Anyway, I thought it would be perfect that they just be guarding the pizza place. So yeah, that was my first drawing, and it was also fun, laid down similar concept. So laid down the alcohol markers just as my base, so I had something to work on and develop over top of, and then use the Prismacolors to then essentially color it in, and then kept the background pretty muted in that gray tones just because I wanted the center section to be the main star of the show. So that's that. Let's get back to the donut. All right, so back to the donut. I definitely am happy with how this turned out. I think that this material is definitely going to take a little bit of getting used to, just because while you can add a ton of layers, let me see if I can bring this a little closer. You can see the hash marks a little bit more, and I'm not used to that from always using Prismacolors. So that was a bit of an adjustment, but that's all good. I will figure out how to use these, and I look forward to using them more in the future. So I hope you enjoyed this chatty draw with me as we filled a page in my sketchbook. If you like this video, please comment below. I have never really shown people the inside of my sketchbook, so this felt a little I don't know, vulnerable for me, just because it's not something typically I do, but I also love watching those videos on YouTube. So that's why I have started showing you guys the inner working. So if you'd like to see more of these, comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, or if you'd like to see me draw something else or do a comparison between Faber Castell and the Prismacolors, I'm open to it all. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day.